Alright, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be making a sun. I already made a tutorial a little bit ago, but it is not really in depth on how to actually make one yourself, just how to copy what I made, and that's not really a good way to do a tutorial. So I don't really have any script for this. I'm just gonna just talk here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to make a sun, and we got like the gradient sideways here. And we'll just select, a light blue color, and then a lighter blue color. And yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, but it'll do. So if you've ever used your eyes, you'll see that something like the sun or a light bulb, just because of how bright it is, it'll be white in the center, and there's some science behind that I don't really know about. So just as a general rule, if you're making light in Geometry Dash and under realistic style, make sure that it has a white center, because it'll really give the effect that it's bright. So now I'm using this border thing here, I don't know what this is called, to put around the sun, and we're gonna go with like an orange blending, and we're not gonna really worry too much about the color right now. The main thing we're worrying about right now is getting just the glow around this. So put a little bit right there, and then kind of as it gets larger, we're gonna decrease the brightness. And this is because you want it to kind of darken as it goes out, a little bit of fade out action here. And really, the more glow the better, but as you can see, there's too much opacity. This is a big orange circle, so what I'm going to do, go into this, just lower the opacity. And that's already a pretty good sun. I mean, you could stick this in your level and it would be perfectly fine, honestly. But we are perfectionists in this household, so we are going to do much more. So now it's time for the really complicated part, which is the lens flare. And there's like a million ways to do a lens flare. You can really just do it however you want, but also, just one last tip for the sun. I'm going to make a really big glow circle here, and I'm going to make it on low opacity. And if you have this in a level, make sure that you have like one really big glow circle on a low opacity on like T3. In that way, like if you have an object here, okay, this, yeah, if you have like an object here, it'll be visible. Maybe I'll make this second largest one T3 as well. So it's not really too noticeable, but just like if you have an object in the level, it'll just be like very slightly tinted by the sun glow, and it'll look good. But make sure that's not the entire object, because you still want to see the object. But yeah, so anyway, back to the lens flare now. Get rid of this. So you're gonna use these like fade out lines here in the ground spike section, and I'm actually going to take these to a separate layer because glow has a very annoying select box. Okay, so what we're gonna do, just kind of center this and use warp. And this is the annoying part, because you have to kind of like zoom in a bunch. Move this out of the way to like widen it a little bit. The reason we want to widen it is because it looks good, and that is the reason why you do anything for this, is because it looks good. So I'm actually going to do that again. So we're going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, and then I'm going to take a smaller one, and just we're going to, okay, never mind. That looks so goofy. Okay, so I'm just going to lower the brightness on this a little bit. And we're going to I still want this to be wider. It needs to be just a little bit wider. There we go. Now it's too wide. Okay. Let's go with that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And by the way, just if you don't want to waste your time, you don't even have to do a lens flare. It's really optional. But you know, if you want to be cool, then you'll definitely want to have a lens flare, because that is essential for the sun. So I just kind of added these two smaller lines. I'm not entirely sure how I'm feeling about this though. Yeah, we're gonna we're gonna delete these, so just ignore that. Alright, so we kind of got like a little thing going here, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this reversed circle here, and we're going to make some rings. Now the thing is, for a lens flare, you want to make sure that you don't just use the color orange, right? Because it kind of shines in like the RGB. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of these, and we're just going to make this like a red blending. And it's a good idea to get into the habit of using this thing, because it's, you know, a lot easier. And whew, that's looking good. Okay. And always make sure to separate your objects by layers, just because it's a lot easier to separate them. So I'm going to make some smaller circles here, and use hue, not HSV. Like I just did there. And we're just going to make this just a tad bit darker. And then we'll make another circle, but this one will be a lot darker. And we're going to do, it's like, yeah, something like that. And we're going to make this, you know, actually, yeah, no, never mind. This is looking good. I'm liking this. But this is just a little too opaque. So I'm going to just tweak that a little bit. And we'll just copy this to the other side. Just to make it a little bit better. Whew! All right. That's looking good, but we are not quite done yet. So now, let's see. What are we going to do next? There's tons of stuff you can do, honestly. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to delete these in the end. We'll move them down here for now, but I'm not really a fan of those. Is there... Yeah, we're going to use this detail object here. And basically what you do is you just scale it up and it looks cool. But make sure that it's lower opacity. Okay, never mind. We are actually going to keep this because this kind of like connects them all. And we can't just get rid of that. Maybe if we just lower the opacity a bit, because I didn't like how opaque it was. And it's really hard to see what this really looks like without... Does anybody know, is there any way to get rid of this, by the way? This like little plus thing in the background? I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. It's very annoying. Alright. This is looking pretty sick. Honestly, really, you could stop here even. This is still going the extra mile, but just to really sell it, we're going to do just a little bit more. So, the next thing is in the ground spike tab here, you're going to take these rainbows, and actually, oh yeah, you don't have to move these when you're copying and pasting. So what you do, center this, put it like right there, give this a white, I don't know, is it blend? I'm pretty sure, I don't remember if you use blending or not. I think you do, yeah. Because it gives you more like, yeah. We don't really want anything, it's just very subtle, you know. So you can put this, you can do something like this, where you put them like on each side of the lens flare. That looks pretty cool. Or you could do something like this where it's just in the center. Personally, I think I'm gonna go with the center one. I like that more. I think that looks cooler. But I am going to just very slightly lower the opacity because this really just wants to be something very, very subtle. Alright, and then the last thing I think I'm going to do, just to add on to these circles, is we're going to take some of these circles and I'm going to take this, copy values, and what I'm going to do, just scale this up a little bit, and I wonder if this would look cool instead of the circle in the middle. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now, and let's just give that a try. I'm not sure. I mean, now that I've done this, I kind of like this more, but it's not good enough yet. So let's make it a little bit smaller, maybe. And this is still bothering me how opaque these are. So yeah, it should really just be subtle, just barely there. It's supposed to be like overpowering. And we'll just increase the brightness on this. Okay. Yeah, I actually like this more. So we're going to just copy and paste it over. And then maybe like flatten these a little bit. Just to make them... Yeah. Okay. Now we're talking. Now we're in business. But I think this still needs to be just... Oh, get... Okay. So just make that wider. But then just lower the opacity a tiny bit. And honestly, I don't think we need this center one. It looks kind of goofy. It looks kind of stupid. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, we are in business now. Make sure to save every few minutes. I forgot to save, but okay, well that's not any use. only 25 objects for this whole thing, and just look at how beautiful that is. That is a beautiful sun. And if I really wanted to, I could make this a little bit smaller, just so that okay, holy, okay. So if I just wanted to make this a little bit smaller, but you know, at the end of the day, the sun is huge, so it's not like it should be small by any means. But we're gonna link this all together, put this on a group, and move this to the bottom of the level. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so now just lock to camera X, no, camera Y, player X. And then we can just play with the position to get. That is beautiful though. I mean, just look at that. But since this is kind of off to the side. Oh, whoops. That was a mistake. We're just gonna. Whoops. We're just gonna just like lower the opacity of these a bit, but like 20 points or something. Just, you know, really make them just a tiny bit darker, just because, you know, you don't see them quite as well. They're not as centered, so it's not. Yeah. And then did I get it? Okay. And then another thing you can do, if you want to just make it a little bit more dynamic, you can tilt it. Personally, I'm going to keep it the same, but if you really want to, you can tilt it. It does also look cool tilted. And then the last thing is that maybe we'll take everything here, all of these, and we'll kind of just fade them in. Like this. So it'll be like 0.2. And it just kind of looks cool. So now we can just have like some stereo madness type of nonsense going on here. But you're doing it in front of the sun, so it's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I like this. I like this quite a lot. Alright, well, I think that's it. I don't really have anything else to teach in terms of the sun. I guess the final note would be, don't have this move. I covered this in the last video, but I want to make it clear. The sun shouldn't move. If you ever look out, you know, the side window while you're in a car, you'll notice that the sun doesn't move. That's because it's millions of miles away. It does not move. So don't make it move. Have it stay anchored in the sky. There's no reason for it to move. If you make it move, I will come after you. And I will make sure that it doesn't move. So just make sure that you follow the golden rule. Don't have the sun or any solar bodies move. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening to my rambling.